5 terrifying stories about dolls.
1. The Cursed Dollhouse. The quaint town of Willowbrook was the kind of place where time seemed to stand still, where old-fashioned charm permeated every cobblestone street and ivy-covered cottage. Nestled at the heart of this idyllic town was my childhood home, a cozy, centuries-old house that had been in our family for generations. It was on my 7th birthday that my grandmother gifted me a dollhouse, a masterpiece of intricate craftsmanship. Its wooden exterior was adorned with tiny, delicate details, from the miniature flowers in the garden to the lace curtains in the windows. Inside, the dollhouse held a family of diminutive figures, a father, a mother, and a child, each with their own meticulously painted expressions. At first, the dollhouse was a source of pure delight. I spent hours arranging the miniature furniture, dressing the tiny family, and creating elaborate scenarios for their lives. It was a world unto itself, a sanctuary of imagination. But as the days turned into weeks, I began to notice strange occurrences in our home. Objects shifted when I wasn't looking, and whispers seemed to echo through the rooms at night. The laughter of a child, faint but undeniable, filled the air when the moon hung low in the sky. My parents dismissed my stories, attributing the odd happenings to my overactive imagination, but I knew that something was amiss, something that emanated from the dollhouse itself. One night, unable to sleep, I crept downstairs to investigate. The moonlight filtered through the curtains, casting eerie shadows across the dollhouse. As I approached it, I could swear that the figures within had moved. Their painted eyes seemed to follow me, their expression shifting from benign to malevolent. Tentatively, I reached out to touch the father figure, and a jolt of icy dread coursed through me. The dollhouse was more than just a plaything. It was a portal to a malevolent world, a world where the tiny figures held sway over the living. As weeks turned into months, the dollhouse's influence over our home grew stronger. Objects moved with purpose, rearranging themselves in bizarre patterns. The whispers in the night grew louder, taking on an ominous tone, and the laughter, the chilling, childlike laughter, haunted our every moment. I became obsessed with unraveling the dollhouse's curse. I researched its origins, delving into the town's history, and discovered a dark secret. The dollhouse had once belonged to a sinister figure, a puppeteer who had used it to trap the souls of innocent children. Determined to free my family from the dollhouse's grip, I embarked on a perilous journey into the miniature world within. It was a realm of twisted corridors and malevolent figures, where the rules of reality no longer applied. As I confronted the sinister puppeteer and battled the malevolent forces that had been unleashed, I could feel the dollhouse's power waning. But the cost was high, and the scars of that night would haunt me forever. Now, as I look upon the dollhouse locked away in a dark corner of our attic, I can't help but wonder if the malevolent forces have truly been vanquished, or if they simply bide their time, waiting for the next unsuspecting soul to fall under their curse. The dollhouse remains a testament to the darkness that can lurk beneath the surface of even the most idyllic of places, a reminder that some secrets are better left undisturbed. 2. The collector's obsession. I had always been drawn to the peculiar, the macabre, the unusual. My house, tucked away in the heart of the city, was a sanctuary of the bizarre, a haven for curiosities of every kind. Among my extensive collection of oddities, one obsession reigned supreme: antique dolls. Each porcelain face, each glass eye, held a story, a history that I yearned to uncover. It was on a rainy autumn day that my obsession led me to an estate auction, a place where the forgotten and the overlooked found new homes. Among the items up for bid was a doll, unlike any I had ever seen. She was lifelike, her eyes seeming to hold secrets, her intricate lace dress a testament to the skill of her creator. The doll was said to have been crafted by a renowned but enigmatic doll maker, a recluse who had vanished from public view many years ago. As I gazed upon her, I felt an inexplicable connection, a pull that I couldn't resist. I raised my paddle, determined to make her mine. From the moment the doll entered my collection, my life began to unravel. At first, it was subtle. A rearranged display, a missing trinket. I chalked it up to my own forgetfulness. But then, the whispers began. In the dead of night, I would hear faint, haunting voices emanating from the doll's corner in my collection room. The words were indistinct, like a spectral murmur, but the intent was unmistakable. A sinister presence that seemed to emanate from the doll itself. The doll, too, seemed to come to life in the darkest hours. I would awaken to find her standing at the foot of my bed, her glass eyes fixed upon me. The sense of dread that washed over me in those moments was suffocating. Desperate for answers, I began to research the dollmaker's dark past. I delved into dusty archives and whispered legends, discovering a chilling tale of a man who had crafted his dolls with pieces of his own soul, imbuing them with a malevolent power. As I uncovered the truth, I realized that I was trapped in a nightmare of my own making. The doll's whispers grew louder, her movements more deliberate, and I could feel her influence seeping into every corner of my life. Haunted and tormented, I knew that I had to find a way to break the curse that bound me to the doll. But the path to freedom was fraught with danger. As I delved deeper into the dollmaker's dark history, and the malevolent presence within the doll fought back with increasing intensity. As I sit here, penning this account of my harrowing ordeal, I can feel the doll's presence lurking in the shadows, a sinister force that seeks to consume me. I must uncover the dollmaker's secrets and find a way to break the curse before it's too late, before I become the next victim of the collector's obsession. The haunted puppet theater. The small town of Ravenswood had always been known for its once famous puppet theater. A charming, red brick building that had once been the heart of the community's entertainment. But as the years passed and interest waned, the theater fell into disrepair, its once grand stage now shrouded in darkness and silence. It was during one fateful summer that my group of friends stumbled upon the abandoned theater, hidden away at the edge of town. We were thrill seekers, always on the lookout for the next adventure, and the theater seemed like the perfect place to explore. As we pushed open the creaking doors and entered the dimly lit space, a chill settled over us. Covered seats faced a stage adorned with faded red velvet curtains, and a collection of antique puppets lay strewn about, their painted faces frozen in perpetual expressions of joy and sorrow. The puppets were a macabre delight, each one meticulously crafted with porcelain faces and delicate costumes. They seemed to beckon to us, their lifeless eyes hinting at secrets hidden within. Intrigued, we decided to revive the forgotten art form using the antique puppets to put on a show for the town. Little did we know that the puppets harbored vengeful spirits, trapped within their porcelain forms. As we rehearsed our performances, strange occurrences began to plague our lives. Objects moved of their own accord, and eerie whispers filled the air when we were alone. We dismissed these incidents as coincidences, attributing them to the theater's spooky ambience. But it wasn't long before the puppets themselves began to exhibit a life of their own. During our rehearsals, their movements became more fluid, their expressions more animated. It was as though the spirits trapped within them were asserting their control. One night, as we performed on the darkened stage, I felt a sudden pull on my strings. I tried to resist, but it was futile. The puppet I controlled took on a life of its own, dancing and twirling in ways that were beyond my control. My friends experienced the same phenomenon, their puppets moving with an eerie grace. As we struggled to regain control, the puppet show transformed into a nightmare. Puppets told a story of vengeance and betrayal, a dark tale that seemed to echo our own lives. We became unwilling participants in a terrifying puppet show, our every move dictated by the malevolent spirits that had taken hold. Desperate to break free from the puppet's control, we delved into the history of the theater, uncovering the tragic tale of a puppeteer who had used dark rituals to bind the spirits of the deceased to his creations. The spirits sought revenge, and they had found a conduit through us. As we fought to escape the theater's malevolent grasp, the puppets' movements grew more frenzied, their voices more chilling. We had become pawns in a sinister puppet show, and our only hope lay in finding a way to banish the vengeful spirits and put an end to the cursed performances. I write this account as a warning to those who may be tempted to dabble in the supernatural, to those who believe they can control forces beyond their understanding. The puppet theater had become a stage for darkness and despair, and I can only hope that our story serves as a cautionary tale for those who dare to tread where the living should not. For the possessed ventriloquist dummy. Life as a struggling ventriloquist was a lonely existence. For years, I had performed in dimly-lit bars and small theaters, my wooden partner, Charlie, always by my side. We were an odd pair, Charlie and I, but he had been my loyal companion through thick and thin. One rainy afternoon, while wandering the streets of a sleepy town, I stumbled upon an antique store, an unassuming shop with dusty shelves and forgotten relics. It was there that I found him. A wooden dummy, his features carved with an eerie precision. The shopkeeper informed me that the dummy had been crafted by a renowned puppeteer, a man whose name was whispered in harsh tones. The dummy's name was Lucas, and his lifelike appearance sent shivers down my spine. I knew that I had to have him. From the moment Lucas joined our act, my performances took a dramatic turn. The audiences were captivated by his uncanny realism, his expression seemingly more lifelike than any dummy I had ever encountered. It was as though he possessed a life of his own. But as our act gained popularity, I began to notice something unsettling. During our performances, Lucas started to speak on his own, his words filled with dark secrets and ominous warnings. The audience laughed, believing it to be part of the act, but I knew that something was horribly wrong. Night after night, Lucas's control over me grew stronger. He would move his wooden limbs with an eerie fluidity, his voice taking on a sinister tone. I felt like a puppet myself, dancing to his malevolent strings. The more I tried to resist, the tighter Lucas's grip on my sanity became. His whispered threats echoed in my ears, taunting me, promising unspeakable horrors if I dared to defy him. I could feel my mind unraveling, my sense of self slipping away. Desperate for answers, I delved into the puppeteer's dark past, uncovering a chilling tale of a man who had used forbidden rituals to infuse his creations with the souls of the damned. Lucas was no ordinary dummy. He was a vessel for a malevolent spirit, a spirit that sought to control me completely. As I struggled to break free from Lucas's malevolent influence, I could feel his presence closing in around me, a suffocating darkness that threatened to consume my very soul. I was trapped in a nightmare of my own making, a living puppet whose every move was dictated by the malevolent force that had taken hold. Now, as I write this account in a desperate attempt to reclaim my own voice, I can feel Lucas's presence lurking just beyond the edges of my consciousness, a sinister force that seeks to silence me forever. I must uncover the truth behind his origins and find a way to break free from his malevolent influence before it's too late, before I become nothing more than a puppet dancing on his strings. 5. The Doll Maker's Revenge. In the heart of a small, picturesque village, nestled among rolling hills and surrounded by lush forests, lived a reclusive doll maker. The villagers knew little about this enigmatic figure, save for the fact that their creations were highly sought after by collectors far and wide. The dolls that emerged from the doll maker's workshop were unlike any others. They were lifelike, with porcelain faces that seemed to capture the essence of the human soul. Collectors from distant lands would pay exorbitant sums to own one of these exquisite creations. But what the villagers didn't know was that the doll maker harbored a deep-seated grudge against those who had wronged them. In the past, in the solitude of their workshop, they had harnessed ancient and forbidden arts to imbue their dolls with vengeful spirits. Each doll was crafted with precision and care, but hidden within their porcelain forms lay the malevolent souls of those who had crossed the doll maker's path. The dolls became vessels for revenge, sent out into the world to infiltrate the lives of those who had wronged their creator. As the dolls found their way into the homes of their intended victims, they unleashed a reign of terror. Objects moved of their own accord, eerie whispers filled the air, and chilling apparitions haunted the nights. The villagers were unaware of the source of their torment, attributing the strange occurrences to mere coincidence. But it didn't take long for the truth to surface. Those who had wronged the doll maker began to experience the full extent of the doll's malevolence. The dolls would whisper their deepest fears and secrets, using their knowledge to torment their victims. Slowly but surely, the villagers' lives unraveled as the dolls exacted their terrifying revenge. Desperate to put an end to the curse that had befallen their village, a group of brave souls set out to uncover the identity of the doll maker and confront the source of their torment. They delved into the village's history, uncovering a tale of betrayal and injustice that had driven the doll maker to seek vengeance. Their search led them to the doll maker's hidden workshop, a place shrouded in darkness and filled with the eerie presence of the vengeful dolls. As they confronted the doll maker, they learned of the twisted rituals that had bound the souls of the wronged to the dolls. But the dolls were not about to relinquish their newfound power without a fight. They turned on their creator, their porcelain faces contorted with malice, their movements fluid and graceful as they sought to protect the doll maker who had given them life. A harrowing battle ensued, a battle between the living and the vengeful spirits trapped within the dolls. The villagers fought with all their might, determined to break the curse that had plagued their village for so long. In the end, it was a combination of bravery and cunning that prevailed. The dolls were subdued, their malevolent spirits banished, and the doll maker's revenge thwarted. As the dawn broke over the tranquil village, the curse was lifted and peace was restored. The villagers learned a valuable lesson about the consequences of seeking vengeance and the enduring power of forgiveness. The doll maker's workshop was sealed, a haunting reminder of the darkness that could lurk in even the most idyllic of places. And the village, once again bathed in the warm embrace of sunlight, lived on as a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. Which story caught your attention the most? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more content. Until next time, stay safe. And thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Check out my website in the description below to see what I'm writing. And just below there are some suggestions related to what we talked about today. Peace.